Bam, we're live. Good morning. 7 a.m. Central Time for those of you who are used to the show starting at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is 2 hours earlier. Earlier? Yeah, 2 hours earlier than normal. Oh, that's why I woke up funny this morning. I wonder I feel different. I'm up 2 hours earlier. Yo.
Hey.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Ready, Annie.
Hi. Oh, there's some music in here. Hold on.
Look at you. Are you in Iceland?
Yes, I am.
I keep thinking you're going to end up showing up here. Do you have plans to come to Texas?
Actually, no.
No. All right. It's all from home this year.
All from home this year. It's the first year I'm at home during the CrossFit Games since COVID year.
So, are those the only 2 years that you didn't go to the CrossFit Games? Wait, so that's the only year
year I
since
didn't go. Yeah, well, I obviously I wasn't competing in 2013 when I had my back injury, but then I still went because Frederick was competing.
Oh, that's wild. So since 2009, you've been in attendance at every CrossFit game except for the year that no one went.
Yes.
Holy cow, that's wild. Hey, you know what's even crazier about that? People are like, I think the boys were saying, I heard the boys saying something like, 2 of the boys, or maybe 2 or 1 I think BKG is his first games was 2014.
Yes, I think so.
And I think
Yes.
he will be the athlete who is the oldest. I not necessarily by age, but by experience or by
With
historical counting.
experience.
You would if you attend the games, you'll blow everyone out of the water. I mean, there'll be not even a close second. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's pretty wild. Obviously, one of those years I competed on a team. All the other years were individual
Yeah, I'm gonna even
competing.
give you credit the year you came and you didn't compete. It's fucking nuts. Absolutely nuts, man. Hey, that's great.
Actually, shut up.
Yeah, hey, congratulations on the second baby.
Thank you. Thank you.
What a beautiful child. I'm not with my kids because I'm in Texas, and it's very rare that I'm away from my kids, and I got a little emotional last night. I was digging through your Instagram, and I was looking at all your baby pictures, and I was like, "Oh, man, she must be so happy." Are you just in heaven right now cuddling that little baby?
Yes. Although it is a little weird because like you're also super aware that you need to be giving the other baby like I'm very aware of not getting her jealous and feel like she's fully included. So she gets to be a part of as much as we can. And like she is we've always talked to her kind of like an equal. So she's very, I would say, mature for her age. So she does participate in just most things we do. But of course, you still want to like every once in a while, like just talk to Atlas and like snuggle him and stuff. And then it's like, okay, and now Freya, come here, let me snuggle you.
How
So
how
there's a lot of kissing and cuddling and
how old is Freya?
she's turning 4 years old this weekend. So the 10th of August, she's turning 4 years old. So if we were going to the games, we just made this decision like 2 weeks ago not to go, 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Um, Mainly because like I wanted to then, if I would be going, I wanted to do as many things as possible. Like be fully in activations and the community and do workouts and like just be fully a part of the games, like do as much as I can. But I'm still breastfeeding, so then Atlas would at least have to go with me. And since it's Freya's birthday, there's no way I'm not going to be there for her birthday. So she would then be going with me as well. So it would be a family trip. So it was since it's a long travel and Atlas just got some of his like needed vaccinations and stuff. I was like, no, I'm not going to travel quite yet with him if it's not needed. So it was a tough decision.
Gotcha. Hey, is Frederick really bonding with Freya now? I remember when Haley had the twins, it just gave me a ton of time with the first child. Like I just started taking the first child
Oh
everywhere with me.
yeah, because she does so much with him. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. But even before, she bonded really well with him. Like we're so fortunate that our job is well, probably a little bit like yours. You get to do a lot of your work from home.
Yeah.
So Frederick has been very good with being with her as well. So it wasn't like a crazy change, but of course we use the opportunity if he's gonna go work at ours. So we have like a storage unit. If he's gonna go work at that or go run errands or something, she then jumps with him and is getting to do all these different things like constructional work stuff as well, which is pretty awesome for her.
Hey, are you in the same how long have you been in that house?
In this house,
Yeah.
we're at the summer house right now. So
It
I'm at my parents' summer house.
okay, and then the house that you
But
guys
we
live in
just
that you
moved
call home.
recently.
Oh, you did,
Yeah,
okay.
so we just moved recently there. So that's been a long process, like awfully long. I packed my suitcase when we moved from our apartment to a temporary apartment. I packed it to stay there for 3 months. We stayed there for 2.5 years.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah. So we just moved into our house like 2 months before Atlas came. So in March this year, we moved.
Yeah, you know, we had a similar thing happen. Haley and I bought a house, and then we didn't move out of our apartment for a couple years, but soon as she got pregnant, we're like, "Shit, we better move into that house."
Yeah, like better get ready. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were trying to, but it's just like everything was taking a while and there were a couple of potential lawsuits involved and it was a headache. It like sucked because it's a big thing. You're buying a house. So it's like
what
exciting and so much fun and then you had decided all the interior and everything and then like when we finally got to do some of those things and get it ready, I was like, "Oh, I don't remember what I chose here or what I chose there or what we have bought and is ready."
did
But
you
it's been fun.
did you buy a house and then there were some issues with it? Was that the potential lawsuit? You bought a house and then you realized, like, the plumbing was fucked up or
Yeah,
something like that?
yeah, there were some issues. There were some issues that came up. So that was like a little sad. Um, but we were building it from, so it's brand new. We were building it, and the guys that were building it, it was just some issues that came up that weren't done properly, and like weren't going to fix it. So we had to go some other ways to get evaluations and stuff to get it fixed properly. So,
Did you
but
did you
we're in
move
there
A
now.
did you move Annie, because you needed more space with the 2nd child?
Yes and no. Yes, we needed more space, but like we bought it before I got pregnant with the second
Mm,
child.
mm.
We really wanted to have a garage so that we could have a gym set up there as well. Not that people think it's silly that it takes like 15 minutes for me to drive to CrossFit Reykjavik, and I will always be the person that likes to go to the gym, and it's still my like third home. I would say the summer house is my second home, and CrossFit Reykjavik is my third home. But it just makes such a big difference when you have a kid. Once you start getting busier with life, work that we're doing, and I want to make sure that I get my training in, like that is still my job, priority. So having a garage where I can do my second training session or even like let's say going to the games, like it kind of sucked that we weren't in there sooner because the goal was to have a sauna so I could do my heat training at home and so that I could do maybe a third training session at home when I would do extra zone 2 or spin work or whatever mobility, being able to do that at home. So that was kind of the goal with getting a bigger house.
Were both of your children planned?
Um, well,
Oh,
Atlas
it
was
makes me
definitely
so
not
happy
planned.
it makes me so happy that you have to think. That makes me think you're normal like the rest of us. Say that again, Atlas, what?
He was definitely not planned. That definitely happened. I was when we had Freya, I was ready to get pregnant. Like I was scared because of my career and everything, but I was ready to get pregnant when we had her. So that was yeah, very much excited. And Atlas, that was I never compete on birth control. And then it must have just happened like literally right after the CrossFit Games. I just got pregnant, and we welcome it. It's exciting, and I've always wanted at least two children. But no, it was not planned.
I remember, when my wife got pregnant with the twins, it took her, they weren't planned either, and it took her, 24 hours, but there was a 24-hour period I remember where she was like, "Holy shit." Like, what happened? Like, really? And did you go through did you go through a process where you had to, shift gears from being,
Oh
Annie,
yes.
1 child, professional athlete to, "Okay, I have to put all that aside again. I'm back to, growing a baby inside of me."
Absolutely, because I was really frustrated after the games last year because I it is just like life. I'm gonna say it's just life. Like you can't expect to perform at 100% every single year. I've been there many years. 2016 was an off year for me where things didn't like my body didn't feel right. That was a year after my heat stroke, so I'm gonna blame my head on that. My head was not in the right place. And then last year, my body just didn't work the way that it had done in training. I was like surprised after so many events that came out. I'm like, I like honestly just don't know what happened. Like things just didn't work out the way that they have been working out in training. And that's like, it's so frustrating. Like honestly, that's all you can ask for when you compete is that you perform the way that you know you're capable of doing. So after the games, I was very frustrated over that happening. So I was very much ready to compete at Rogues and actually really excited that Tia was going to be coming back and getting to like compete along with her at Rogues. So I was like full on training when I found out I was pregnant, and it's not. I believe it was just meant to be, and 100% excited and all of that. But of course, you can have mixed emotions when you find out. You're like, oh my God, how, when, what? And then it's like, okay, shifting gears. I guess I'm not competing at Rogues this year. Um, I'm doing this thing, and then it's just excitement and happy and like so much love. So now we shall see. I don't feel like I fully got a closure, but I also know you never fully get a closure unless you're ready to stop competing, and I don't know if I am yet.
Oh, closure.
Closure as in like okay with just quit having that my last one. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The year you're saying you're disappointed, you took 13th place,
Yeah.
25th, 7th, 13th, 12th, 14th, 11th, 8th, 12th, 9th. I mean, you didn't have any. I mean, you didn't have any just complete shit events.
No, 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 no. It was more just like so you're talking 2016, right?
No, sorry, 2023.
Oh, 2023. Yeah, but I was so much better. Like I'm super disappointed in the 5K, the run event, because I literally was training a 5K leading up to the games, like my progression for the past 3 months leading in. I'd never done as much running, never felt as good, and then my legs just like didn't function properly. And the same thing happened in like three other events where I just walked out of the event just knowing that I didn't uh, like do what I knew I could do, if
Do
that
you
makes sense.
remember?
Like
Yeah. Do you
something just didn't
remember?
work. So
Do you
whether I was overtrained, oversalted, like something, I don't know.
oversalted, meaning like you had too much salt in you, and like you felt puffy?
Yeah.
You took 25th in that. We don't actually know the distance of that, but did that time seem slow to you when you ran it? Like, were you like, man,
Oh, yes.
okay.
Like so much slower than I had done in training. So much
I-
slower.
Interesting. What was there a point in the race that you knew also? Were you like 1K in and you're like, shit, something's
No,
not,
I was probably like 2K in. Or I was
and you
like,
knew.
oh, this is weird. Keep going. I know it's supposed to hurt. It's allowed to hurt. Like, I know how to run in pain, but it was just my legs just wouldn't do what I wanted them to do.
And I'm trying to think. I think this is neither you or Katrin are competing this year. I was kind of tripping on that a couple weeks ago. For those of us
Crazy.
who've watched both of you, it's really interesting. It,
I
sad's
think it's
not the
just
right
really
word.
sad.
Y-
I think it's a little sad we don't have
Is
any
it sad?
daughter.
No, really, no daughters in the games this year.
Sarah's not 30, didn't make it, so there's no daughter.
Wow.
That's the first time since I started competing.
And I heard you say that it might not be your last game. That might not be your last games. You might not feel like you have closure. And when I look at your Instagram, it looks like you're definitely recovering very, very, very quickly. Like that you are
Who?
putting your body through some tests. No.
Oh, yeah, I'm putting my body through some tests and I'm recovering so much better than last time. Like, it's so much better. So I gave a normal birth last time and it went really badly. So this time I was almost just recommended to go for C-section. So I went for C-section and pretty crazy to me, but I'm recovering so much better from that. So yes, I'm training a lot, but my abdominals, I think I recover slower than an average woman. Like my core, like the abdominal separation is pretty severe for me. So that is taking its time to go together.
You,
But it was the
you're
same last time.
you're only 3 months out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know. That seems pretty um supernatural to me. And what did you say? So you didn't, if you didn't know, if it wasn't planned necessarily, how did you know you were pregnant? Like, how did you find out? Were you like, I don't feel like myself, or what was this?
Oh,
What
I
were the
feel
signs
in.
you
I
knew?
feel in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't start my period. And I could just feel it. I feel it very early on. Like just mm, like my breasts start hurting. I'm feeling just um my ligaments start feeling good.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like the best I feel in my knees and in my shoulders and everything is while I'm pregnant.
What is that? The woman starts producing it's something like, it's even called like relaxin or something. It even
Yeah,
has like a cool
relaxin
name, right?
hormone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And is
yeah.
that what it is? Your body starts producing that, and so all your joints and ligaments and tendons start feeling all nice,
Yes.
and then what do you
It's
do?
really nice.
And then what do you do? You tell Frederick, you wake up one morning, you're like, "Hey, we have to go to the pharmacy. I need to get a stick."
Yes. I was like, I should have started by now. Like, I've taken out the birth control. I should have started by now. I didn't even get like the fake, um, yeah, period. So went to the pharmacy, I don't do this thing. I can't do this thing that so many women do where they like go do the test and have it a secret and tell their partner in like some super cute way with like a box of cookies or cake or whatever. I'm like, I can't hide anything. You'll see it as soon as as I know, you will know.
He'll
My
hear you.
emotions are like on the outside.
You're in the bathroom, and you're like, "Frederick, come here."
Yes, I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm trying not to freak Freya out because I'm obviously not going to tell her that anything, like, I don't want her to know that I'm pregnant right away. So it's like, oh my God, oh my God. And then, like, a few tears and hugging and like happy tears and stressed tears and like, what, how? And then we managed to have a conversation when Freya went to bed. Because we can't even do conversation in English. Well, I guess you guys are used to that. But here in Europe, you're like, you have your kids and then you can speak like second, third language, like so that your kids don't understand what you're saying. But we can't speak English, Freya understands it. And even now, when we start speaking Danish, she like knows something's up. She understands quite a bit and knows what's up if I start speaking Danish to Frederick. So there's no hiding anything from that kid.
Yeah, and, um, I'm guessing there's conflicting, or maybe not even conflicting, but there's a lot of thoughts about competing again. Like, whether you're done just because you're done, whether you're done because you have 2 kids, whether you're
Hmm.
not done. Like, how do you what are the assessments you're doing to figure out if you're gonna compete again next year?
I haven't even started assessing that. I think I read it yesterday from Simone Biles, where it was like you should stop asking athletes as soon as they finish something, you stop asking them the question, so what's that next? What's after the Olympics? What's next? Like let you enjoy the moment and you don't have to think about what's next. You get to the gym, you start moving, and then you figure out what's next. There's no pressure on having to make that decision. And that has always been the way that I work, Savon. Like, I get asked after the game, so are you doing another year? And yes, I end up doing another year, but I never make a decision early on. And this year, the games aren't even over. So I'm nowhere close to making a decision yet. The only thing I feel is like I have the drive and I have the longing to go to the gym. I want to train. I want to um feel good and strong again. I want my core to be strong and I want to make the decision if I'm competing or not when I know that I can make that decision. I don't
Mm,
want something else to dictate it.
mm.
So yes, it's definitely harder with two kiddos. You have to structure it a lot, but now Freya is actually joining us and so much in the gym, and she actually did 50 burpees unbroken yesterday, so she got
Wow.
$100. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
I'm not bribing my kid. My parents did this thing for other grandkids.
I'm
They
okay with
do.
it. I'm okay with it.
So she did that yesterday and was so proud. So this morning she's like, let's do 100 burpees unbroken today. So I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do that.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, so it's wild. It's really fun. But yeah, I'm definitely not ready to say that I am competing again, because I'm not strong enough yet. But I want to get strong enough, and we get to play. She gets to be with us. But yeah, I'm not strong enough yet, but I want to get there and I want to then make that decision. So my goal now is be at Rogues and do, hopefully they'll have Legends. At least I'm going to be broadcasting and do something at Rogues. But otherwise I would like to compete on the Legends. And then I think I want to compete at Wodapalooza.
Do
I
you
need
have
some goal. I need to get ready for
right.
something.
Sure, I love it. Do you have to make a decision? Could you just
Uh-uh.
um train and then the open come and then quarterfinals come? Can you play it by ear, or you're at a
That's how
level where
I'm going to do it.
you are, yeah, just roll, just
Yeah.
roll. You're gonna roll, you're gonna
Yeah.
do what you know how to train hard, you know how to train
Yeah.
right, and you're just gonna roll.
Yeah. All I know is if I compete at the games again, like I will never just compete to participate.
Mm,
I've already done that so many times. I don't have to participate. I will want to compete for a podium.
yeah.
So that's why I have to see where can I get to, and that's where I want to be at if I compete.
Yeah, and I don't know if it matters to you, but that's the way people see you also, and that's the way people would love to see you. They would love to see you, I think, regardless of your placement. People want to see the Annie that they know go out there and get some.
Yeah, that's always how I compete, and that's
Yeah.
also how I train. That's why it's really yeah. That's why I feel like I want to continue is because I have that drive still. Like it's not freaking me out that the games are around the corner. It's it still gets me excited,
Mm,
if that
mm.
makes sense.
Yeah,
My head is in a good place. I'm so happy. I have so many other things to live for and to do, but I still feel like I I love CrossFit. I love training. I love killing myself on the bike, on the workouts. Like I did a class last week and it was so hard because there was the first with a lot of different movements class I did and it was so hard, but man, does it feel good afterwards. Like it's so rewarding.
You made a post that I thought was very telling about your character and who you are and your relationship with CrossFit. You made a post basically saying you're so happy that you get to go. You didn't use this term, but my translation is you're so happy you get to go to the pain cave again. Like you were so happy to go, and it was on the bike, and you're like, I'm so happy I basically get to go to this, really intense spot. You go to the red line. So you do miss that when you're pregnant.
Oh yeah.
And
It's
and
it is also a relief when you're pregnant that you aren't allowed to go there. But then
mhm.
after doing that for like 9 months,
Yeah.
then you're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to just be allowed to go. So
Mm.
yes, that was so good. It was funny. I didn't do anything for like 2 weeks after. Obviously, it's a C-section. You're not allowed to do a lot, but I was allowed to start biking 2 weeks after like I got checked. And I'm not telling women that they're allowed to after C-section. I was allowed to after my C-section. Um, and I was so happy after birth this time around. It was just incredible. I got to enjoy it fully. I wasn't completely destroyed and broken. Yeah, it was uncomfortable and painful around like the cutting, but I was is such a fantastic place, but just putting my training gear back on, putting my sports bra on, like getting ready, it just brought this big smile on my face, and it was so I felt so good here, getting on the bike and getting to go again. It's something I've been doing this my whole life. I've been training my whole life. Like,
Yeah.
it is weird not doing anything for an extended period of time.
And you seem like you have your head wrapped around the fact that it's gonna take time to get to where you are, and I watched at least a dozen videos, and you don't seem like you're being, it seems like you're being very compassionate and very appreciative of where you're at, and you're not putting pressure on yourself to,
Mhm.
get to peak Annie, that you're just happy that you
Oh,
can go you're more happy that you can go as hard as you can rather than what your results are.
yes, absolutely. I also know that, like, first time around, I didn't know what was normal, and I felt like I was recovering so slowly, and it was, like, such a shock how my body looked and how it felt. I was fine when I was pregnant, but then afterwards, it was like you just have this empty sack, and I still have a belly, and, like, it takes me a while to recover, and first time around, I thought it was just not normal. This time around, I'm like, "It will heal, it will recover, it just takes time, and it's okay. It's fine that I look like this, it's fine that I feel like that, and it's okay. I know I will recover. It just takes time." I recovered fully last time from Freya, and I feel really good this time around, even though I still show that I just had a baby 3 months ago, and I think that's perfectly normal and okay.
There was a post you made about, managing your food intake.
Mhm.
How do you do you get concerned or how do you manage your food intake, but then also make sure you have breast milk? Is there some sort of, like, balance there? Like, do you ever think like, "Okay, I
Ah.
better eat more so that I produce more I continue to produce breast milk?"
Oh, absolutely. I just wanna make sure that I feel enough, but also that I feel right. It's so odd, but I think for everyone, it goes like a little bit hand to hand. If you're training, you eat better and healthier, which is weird. You should obviously also do that when you're not training. But it was like a little bit hard for me, like for the last few weeks of my pregnancy. I maybe allowed myself to eat a little bit more. I always had very healthy food, and Frederick was so amazing cutting down like fruits and vegetables and having everything ready so I could eat those things as snacks in the evenings and stuff. But I always had some chocolate and things that I maybe didn't allow myself as much. It was just cravings. I had heartburn. I felt uncomfortable. It made me feel a little bit better in the moment. And it's hard to just stop that immediately. Um, and then I actually had to, for Atlas's stomach, I quit all dairy and it helped him so much. So it's
Mm.
really hard for me to get enough protein because I'm used to getting that from my dairy. My whey protein, my skid, I have like skid every single day, at
What do you
least once
have?
a
What do you
day.
have? What's the word you're saying?
Skish. It's like Greek yogurt, just
Okay.
even more protein. It's
Okay.
like this Icelandic. You should try it if you haven't had it.
Do we
Skid.
have it in the States?
Yeah, you do.
We do, okay.
You do.
Spell it for
Yeah.
me?
SKYR.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what I heard you saying too in the post or what you wrote in the post was fascinating 'cause it's like it's the most normal thing, but I've never heard an athlete ever say this, basically dealing with cravings. That basically
Mm-hmm.
you're dealing with cravings, and I never hear athletes talk about it, and we see all these shredded and ripped athletes. But for us normal folk, or especially at least for me, it's hard not to at night not to eat a pound of almonds or a pound of cashews or sit there and eat a bowl of grapes before you go to bed. And I was kind of like, oh, good. Like misery loves company. I was like, oh, good. Annie's dealing with that shit too. Great.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I was kind of saying. That's why it's so good for me to be able to do that kind of control. It's more than knowing what I'm having for each meal. And I kind of had to figure everything out again where I was not allowed to have dairy, then where am I getting my protein? Because I was having so much carbs. And when I have too much carbs, I crave more carbs. So that was happening in the evening. So yeah, definitely had to manage it, and also just knowing how much extra is needed to have enough breast milk, so that I wouldn't be worrying about that. But in the beginning, I was so hungry all the time that I was waking up in the night and eating. I just had a bag of almonds but next to my bed, and I was eating almonds in the middle of the night. Um, but yeah, definitely had to get that a little bit more under control for the past month or so.
And I'm assuming you're drinking water, like, just like crazy, right? I remember my wife when she was
Yes.
breastfeeding, I couldn't believe how much water she was drinking. It was absolutely nuts. Just pour she would just pour it in like a dude.
So much.
Yeah.
Yes, you just have to, like, always have it by hand, and also, especially around training, I make sure I have, like, a full glass before training, then I have a glass always ready, then I make sure that I go through during training, and then I chug a full one after training as well,
Yeah,
just to
wild.
make sure I have enough.
Yeah,
Yeah. Life's
any
different, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, you just are always it seems like you're just I mean, you're feeding too, right? I mean, so you're just you need tons of water, I'm assuming, just to make ample breast milk for the baby.
Yeah.
Any other foods you couldn't eat? I remember my wife stopped eating onions, and that really helped the baby. Is there anything else you've cut out besides dairy where you're like, oh, the baby doesn't like that in the breast milk?
Well, in the beginning, I cut out a lot of different things to try to figure out, but it seemed like it was just the dairy.
And then that was
So
it.
that was it. Like a new baby. It was crazy.
Anything different about this baby? Anything different about the way it sleeps or
Yeah.
feeds or yeah? What are some of the differences?
Well, he's got temper.
Oh,
Way bigger temper. He has like from 0 to 100 real fast. Freya, I knew I was lucky with how easy of a baby she was. Always slept really well, smiled so much, never really cried. Like honestly, never really cried. It was crazy. And then he cries. He lets me hear it. If I try to keep him in the stroller and give him the pacifier when he wants to have food, it's like screaming like there's no tomorrow. And I don't know what to do with that because I am not used to that. I've been like at the playground having the stroller and I had to take him out of the stroller because I couldn't. I kept on putting the pacifier in and trying to get him just to the house back real quick, but it wasn't working. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be that mom. And I just picked the baby up and bouncing him on my arm and then trying to move the stroller at the same time and asking Freya to come like, Jesus, this is so chaotic. What is he doing to me? But yeah, to get used to, they're different. It's different characters, but he sleeps so well. So
are there some things that like generally work, like burp him, change his diaper, swaddle him? Like, do you have some go-tos for when he is fussy?
um oh, when he's fussy, I put him on his stomach when he's fussy.
Yeah. Oh,
He
you do.
loves belly time. Yeah.
Oh, that's
He'll
awesome.
he is so strong. He will just stay on his belly. But yeah, obviously I always burp him. I'm very much into routine and structure, and that's exactly how I was with Freya too. And that's why I think they both slept so well. I do big feeds, I burp, try to feed again, change diaper, keep them up, and then I make sure that they're up for X long, and then I always put them in the stroller when they're supposed to sleep, and I am diligent on then if they're not sleeping, I will walk with them in the stroller to make sure that they sleep, and then they get into the routine and get used to it. So now I don't have to do anything. I just put Atlas in the stroller, and he sleeps for 2 to 2.5 hours in the morning, and then 2 hours um, just past noon, and then he sleeps inside for the third and the tiny fourth nap. But like it makes such a big difference. I have to do this and then I can train and
Yeah.
get work done. So
I forgot about that, the baby's nap. I forgot about that.
yeah, there's a lot of napping. A lot of
Yeah.
napping.
Uh, um, so, all of this is going on, and clearly we can see you started moving again. And in one of the posts, you say that you haven't started snatching yet. It sounds like you don't want the bar banging against your belly yet.
I tried. I tried. So that's different from last time around. I couldn't snatch because of my pelvic floor last time. This time around, it just like hurts so much on the. I'm still so swollen, I think, from where the scar is at. So I can't snatch. I hit the bar right there. I don't hit that low at the pubic bone. I hit like a little bit higher. So Yeah. I can snatch up to like maybe 235, because then I do a non-contact. I like non-contact snatches as well, but I can go a lot heavier than that with non-contact. So I don't
Yeah,
want to change my technique.
any good, good. Any other movements that you're not doing? Are you doing
Oh,
pull-ups
so
already?
many that I'm not doing. No, can't do pull-ups yet. Can't do any toes to bar. I just started doing burpees yesterday, but I don't do it under full intensity because just I want my core to get strong. I'm not gonna take any risks with that. So I'm not rowing under intensity yet. I'm just rowing at like, yeah, medium speeds because that's also abdominal work. So no crazy core work that I'm doing yet, but everything else I'm able to do.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that, but the reason why you're not doing pull-ups is because it pulls on your stomach?
Yeah, yeah, for core, because
Yeah.
the abdominals just aren't strong enough yet for that.
Yeah, and do you just play it by ear, or do you have goals?
I have yes and no. I obviously have goals, but I'm not rushing them, if that makes sense. So I play it by ear on what it feels like, and I know I'm not ready for that yet. So now I'm just doing more plank work and cross abdominal work, inner abdominal work, all the boring things that I know pay off in the long run. But I'm just making sure I'm doing those first. And there's no rush in doing pull-ups. There's no rush in doing toes to bar. I have I have a lot longer than I had last time around. So I'm just gonna do it right.
This experience you had where, you didn't get to do intensity for so many months and to the point where you craved it, which is, the opposite probably of people who are in games training are, they're just sort of dreading it, right? They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god." Um, do you think it's probably gonna be like that if you ever go back to the games, it's probably your perspective of the games is going to be different also because you're realizing that, wow, I get another experience like this. I get another chance like this. Is there any advice you have for people who are going to the games, whether it's their first time or their fifth time, now that you kind of have this different perspective of it?
Well, I think first time around, there's no pressure. You're just going to enjoy it. You're going to take it in no matter what. It's when the pressure starts building up and you've been there a few times and you have pressure on yourself and external. Um, but that's where I think it's so important to being able to just be in the moment, not think about I don't think it's good either to think like, "Oh, this is my last year. This is my last year." There's a reason I've never said it's my last year, because that also adds pressure to it and uh on you as well to make sure that you enjoy it and so on. But I think appreciating that you've put in the work and now you get to show what you can do and that you get to be here, thinking about that you made this decision. No one is forcing you to be there. You made the call to be there. I think that's also a really important one. It's not like anyone competing at the games are being forced to. They've all worked their asses off and they know that. But it's really hard in the moment when you're feeling really stressed out. Like I get so nervous when I'm competing. It's hard for me to eat food. Um, but like then being able to be like, I chose to do this. And then it gives you that control. Like you're in control of the situation. You could walk away and just not compete. It's your decision to stay there and compete. So better make the most of it. And
And go ahead.
I think a lot of people would want to say like appreciate it like it's your last, but I also think that adds too much pressure. Like it would be great if you could always do that, but it does add pressure. I did think about it
Um,
last year competing at Rogues when I was competing. Then I had this realization because I hate going for this is what I just don't like in competition. Like the first event where it's a mass start, usually a long run, like this year at the games, a long run and a swim. I would hate that. Very much dislike that. And I think when we were in the car and we are driving super early in the morning at the Rogue event last year when we went like off venue for that long run, all of a sudden I had this thing like, oh my God, what if this is the last time I am
mm.
um doing this? What if this is the last time I'm in a car and I'm going to another venue? Like, holy shit, I get to do this. And I've gotten to do it for so many years and I get to continue to do this. again and again and again. So instead of being so freaked out and so stressed about what's coming up and feeling so uncomfortable, I all of a sudden felt this just ease.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I like the way you said that. You kind of attacked it from both sides. One, no one's forcing you to do this, and then also you earn this, and you
Mm.
get to do this. You made this happen. You brought yourself
Yeah.
here, and now you
You
get to do
put
this.
yourself in this
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, you earned it. Hey, why don't you like the mass starts as the first event, or do you just not like them at all? Period.
I just don't think I like them at all, period. I like having my lane. I
Mm.
am I am extremely competitive. I really am. But I am not an aggressive person. I I don't push. I don't pull. I I don't like it.
Do you
Mm.
wish you were, or do you wish you were more aggressive?
No, I'm happy with what I am, but I wish I was more comfortable in those situations.
Hey,
I don't like when you're allowed to just run and then go to the next available this or next available lane or whatever. This is my lane. Like, yeah. There's a reason I've never been in a contact sport. I think I need
mm,
to. That's actually my goal. When I'm not competing anymore, I'm gonna go on like a self-defense thing
mm.
or some sort of battle sport just to like know how to use the strength that I have.
Right, that's awesome.
Self-defense.
Like
Yeah.
Jason did. Jason's been so
Yes.
successful with jujitsu, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, when you say you're really competitive, what does that mean to you? And is it changing? Are you becoming more or less competitive?
Uh, I'm not a sore loser. Um, but I will always want to win. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
I've
yeah, I
ever
like
since I
that.
was a kid,
It's
I
a great
haven't liked it
distinction.
if my brothers run faster than me or if they did more pull-ups than me or did anything better. If they did something better, I would train and practice and practice and practice until I could do it better. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's just been me as a kid growing up. If someone when my dad said, like, if you go in the ocean and let the wave go over you, I'll give you like $1 or whatever. Not dangerous. But yeah, then if my brother was gonna do it, there's not a chance I wouldn't do it. Like,
Mm,
I would be the first one to jump in. It's like, yes, I will do that then. Um, so I'm very competitive when it comes to those type of competitions. However, like board games and stuff, yes, I like winning, but I am also um I know it's just a game.
mm.
Yeah, I know it's not anything more than that. And the same at the games. Like if I get second or third or fifth or 10th, like yeah, I'll be pissed off, but I won't be it won't show. It's more like, ah, I want to be better. It will push me to want to be better.
Jessica Valenzuela, she says, "Anything you can do, I can do better." Meaning
I
she's, like,
like
trying to
that.
describe your mindset. Hey
Exactly.
hey,
Exactly.
and you know what else I hear? Maybe this is a component of competitiveness, but you're not a quitter.
No, I am not a quitter.
Failure is no reason to quit. For you, failure is a reason you're attracted to failure.
Yes, I think so. When it's something that matters, I it will bring the best out of me.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. That's a really tough thing for kids. The other day, my kid did 100 burpees, and then I asked my other kid to do it, and he didn't get beat the time of the first kid, and he was devastated. He was
It's
devastated.
hard.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
most important thing was is he said, "I'll try it again in a week," and I was like, "Wow, okay,
That
good."
is so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's something
but
that you need to teach them.
yeah, and I wasn't like that as a kid. You know what I mean? If I felt like I was exposed, I might shy away from that. Whereas,
Mm.
okay, you want another shot at it. You still believe in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's important too. But it's so hard to teach, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
It's I think it's I think it's really difficult as a parent. I know what I want to teach my children, um, but it's really hard to always get it to shine through the right way. Which is why for me right now, I'm like, okay, the best thing I can do is just be an example.
Yeah, I think a lot of times with people, they're trying to teach one thing and they accidentally teach the opposite.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You wanna make your kid
yeah.
not a quitter, and then but because of the way you react to it, um, they actually become a quitter.
And it's also just really hard when they are doing something, struggling, if Freya is struggling with something. I am so quick at running too and helping her. And then
Mm.
I need to and then I take my hand away. I'm like, yeah, and now you try again. Yep, you try again. You try again. It's okay. You try again. But
Right,
it's
you don't wanna
really
take the
hard.
opportu yeah, but you don't wanna take the opportunity away from her. Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had to stop myself multiple times.
Yeah, I felt like the first 4 years, it was all about, raising my kids, it was all about just not reacting. Like, the best parent version of me was the non-reaction version. And I'm sure you know this, and this is with no exaggeration, but if you take Freya for a walk, maybe she's too old now, but when she was 2, if you took her for a mile walk, she would literally fall down 500 times. They trip, they
Yes.
they jump over curbs, and every time you go over and pick your kid up, I realized at one point, I'm stealing a burpee from the child. I just took a burpee,
Hey.
you know what I mean? So in 1 hour, the child might do 500 burpees if I'm a good parent, but if I'm a bad parent, I instead did 500 deadlifts. And it's like, that's not like,
Mm.
this isn't about me getting strong, this is about the baby getting strong,
That's so true. Yeah, I
right?
will be just too quick at running over every time she start climbing on something like, wait, 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 let me just, yeah, yeah, wait, wait, wait. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on to me. And then it's like, oh my God, you have to stop. And then I actually saw, I think it was my dad. He was like letting her climb. So I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, uh, if she falls, she'll only fall once, Annie. She'll learn, and then she won't fall again. I'm like, you're right. He managed to raise me, and I did not die.
How are your parents with the, grandchildren? Are they just absolutely in love?
Oh, they're amazing. They have quite a few. My brother has three, the other one has two, and then now I have two. Um, but they're amazing with them. They're so good with them. That's what I also very often think when I don't know what to do in a situation. I'm like, what would my mom do? And I love that I still
Mm.
go there. So hopefully I'll be like that for Freya as well.
How old are you?
Ooh, 34?
34.
I'm
That's
born in
good.
89.
You're
I'm
starting to
turning
forget
35. I'm turning 35, aren't I? This year
wh when's your
in
birthday?
September.
Oh,
September. Mhm.
awesome. Um,
Wait, I am masters next year. I'm
that's
not doing
wild.
masters.
That's
I'm
wild.
not doing that.
Jake Chapman, Annie came to my gym in London in 2018 for a Polar watch launch. We got a lovely picture of her holding my then 1-year-old daughter. Question for Annie: is she coming to Rogue? Does Frederick have a hotel booked yet?
I am coming to Rogues. We were just looking at flights yesterday, actually. I think we're going to fly through Glasgow. But we don't have a hotel booked yet.
Have you been to Scotland?
I Ooh, now I'm gonna get just for this. I have been, I believe, no, no. I've been to Ireland for a level one. It wasn't Scotland, so I'm sorry about that. But no, I have not been to Scotland yet.
The venue looks absolutely stunning.
It looks amazing, and I'm so
Yeah,
happy that Europe is getting an event
yeah, that's cool.
finally. So good job, Rogue. Like doing that is really cool.
And I bet you it's gonna be if it's I bet you it's gonna be completely sold out. I bet you it's gonna be crazy. The European fans are off the chart. I bet you it's gonna be amazing.
Oh, they're insane. If you have not been to European regionals, it is, or semis now, it is so much fun to compete at. Like the atmosphere is amazing. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be lit up at Rogues for everyone that gets an invite and gets to compete there. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. How is it in Texas? Have you
I
seen the
have.
venue?
No, I'm gonna go to as soon as I get off the phone with you, I'm gonna go over to the venue and get my, media credentials, but, the pictures look absolutely amazing. It's a brand new venue. I saw, Dave
Mm.
was showing pictures of the warm-up area and about how the warm-up area is underground, but there's glass on top so the fans can be outside and, like, look in and watch the
Ooh.
warm-up area. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Okay, that's sick.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. Yeah. Um, tell me about the, skin product you just came out with.
Oh, it's a sunscreen. We just came out with a sunscreen.
Um,
Um, that was
in
kind of
what
funny how that happened.
Yeah, tell me because, what I was really curious about is, did it start off as a sunscreen or did it start off as a lotion and then someone's like, "Hey, it should be a sunscreen too," or vice versa?
No, always start off with as a sunscreen. So it kind of me and Kat have both been just like complaining about sunscreens, like talked very often about it, just like it just stings the eyes and just burns. So we never use sunscreen on our face, especially like competing. Never had sunscreen on the face. So I was like, okay, either you burn or like you will get a sting in your eyes and it might like affect your performance. So just in general, I would just never use sunscreen in my face. I would use on my body when I was abroad. But yeah, never on my face. And then I went to see a skin doctor here in Iceland, just like, okay, so what could I do for my skin just to keep it looking as good as possible for as long as possible? And she goes like, well, obviously you're using sunscreen every day. I'm like, I have never used sunscreen. I'm a person that just doesn't really like any creams. I've never really liked body lotion. I've never used a day cream, night cream, whatever. Like I just am not a huge fan of any of those things. So don't like putting a lot of things on my body. But when she said that, I'm like, oh man, okay, maybe I should find a sunscreen that I can use. And then I just had a really hard time finding. I was seeing these articles about sunscreens having different
Uh-oh. You think her phone died? Oh, there she is.
maybe when it is hasn't really mattered that much to me when it is something you put on yourself every once in a while or just when you're like in a lot of sun. But if it's something you're supposed to put on daily, then it better be something that's actually safe and okay. And then I had kids, and I didn't like having my kids next to
Mhm.
me on my body, getting these things in their mouths and stuff if it's not like okay. So
Mhm.
I just couldn't find anything that I dared to use. I found something in the States um, like Child's Farm sunscreen thing, and then I looked at some of the ingredients and I saw that European Union was banning like some of these things in high quantities and France wanted to ban it completely. So I'm like, it's just a really difficult market to understand anything because I don't know how to read on anything. And then we got in contact with Helga, or I knew of this girl in Iceland, and she's like was studying these things and has done a deep dive into sunscreens in her thesis, and she got a sort of skin cancer early on, like a spot that got taken away. So she like was assisting us with finding different things that we could use, but still we never found anything that didn't burn. So we're like, let's just make something together. And
Mm.
we, for some reason, thought it would be a simple thing. But man, has that been a lot of work and taken us 3 years to actually develop and get these things up and going. And we tried multiple sunscreens where we were literally just like rubbing them on our eyes and foreheads. And then me and Kat would just sit in the sauna. And it hurts so much in the beginning, the first ones. And then this one, we found something. We managed to make something that we're happy with and I feel safe using and comfortable using. So that's how it all started. Um, way bigger process than any one of us could have imagined. But that's being naive, and that's also probably how most things start.
Right. And it doesn't burn your eyes? You
It does
cracked
not sting your eyes,
and it protects you from the sun.
and it protects you from the sun, and 100% waterproof.
And you're not worried about
So
it getting on your baby.
I'm not worried about it getting on my baby.
Well, congratulations for reaching your goals. Hey,
Thank you.
do you know the product that, was, causes the eye stinging?
No, I don't know what causes these things in the eyes. We tried, it was just like we were getting a different blends from So Helga, the chemist, she was like putting together different blends of sunscreen, and then we always got to like try vials of the different. So it's not like a white label or anything. We were like literally just making the sunscreens to test and try out. Um,
And I'm guessing
yeah.
sunscreen is huge in Iceland. I'm guessing, like, protection from the sun is massive for your people.
Well, we don't have sun for half of the year, but even when it's cloudy, apparently you need sunscreen.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is actually significantly bigger than I ever could have imagined. Yes.
'Kay, recently, one of my kids got lice, so my 3 boys do you guys have lice in Iceland?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I know bugs aren't really, your thing there.
No.
Uh, we all shaved our heads with the number 1, and then we went and played tennis, and there was not a bit of sun, it was completely cloudy, but my scalp still got torched.
Right?
And so I understand what you're saying, yeah, even if it's a completely cloudy day, you can still get torched.
Yeah. I never would have believed that until that actually happened to me. And it is the worst. Like we went on the glacier on a
Mhm.
snowmobile. So my dad has snowmobile and we've gone a couple of times on trips there. And I did not think about the reflection from the snow being so strong. Like I got so burned in my face from that. So I was like, okay, you also need to use it during winter when the sun is out for those hours. But that was
Is
significant.
what's the name of the skin product?
Daughter skin.
Daughter Skin. And is it
Yeah,
available in the States?
it's available in the States.
Was
Not
that
shipping to Canada and Europe yet.
hard, make getting it so it's available in the States?
No, that's easy. But this product is up to European standard, which is significantly higher standard than what's needed in the United States. So the product is, um, we're already selling in Iceland and we'll start selling in Europe. We were just going to start in the States and then start selling in Europe in January, February, but we'll probably start selling in Europe just in a month or two because the product is exactly the same for US and Europe because we wanted to have it to as high of a standard as um, possible. So it is a European standard, which is why it was very easy to sell it in the United States.
And where do people go to get it? Can they just go on the internet?
Yeah, thorisdottir.com.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thorisdottir.com. Oh, this is a great site. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
And is it
And there you
is
can
this
also
other
see
late
all the ingredients. So for people that
and is
want to
this
know
late
what's in the sunscreen.
is
Sorry.
this lady your other partner right here?
Yes, that's the chemist.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wow, God,
Hmm.
congratulations. This is really cool.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank you. I'm
SPF
actually very
60
proud. Yes.
and waterproof.
Hmm.
Well, shit, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Will
you.
you be wa
Yeah, we're
will you
very
be
proud.
watch will you be watching the games?
Oh my God, of course. Of
Yeah.
course. I am so excited. I like look at the events and I'm like, oh, would I like this? Would I like that? I'm excited about the step ups. I think that's pretty awesome. Like Chad. I love the workout that came out with the deadlifts GSDs. That's like it's got Annie
Mm,
written all over it.
mm.
Um, the run, swim, not excited about, but you gotta get that one out of the way at some point. So good to just get it out. And then I will be a little nervous about the heat. I have to admit that. I will be nervous about the heat in Texas, competing in that. But I'm guessing it's gonna be very early in the morning, and it'll be very interesting if you're gonna be there. It'll be interesting if they've said ever since this super hot year where I got the heat stroke 2015 in LA, they have talked about these slushy machines.
Oh,
And they've said they have these machines and they always talk about it when they're talking about like making sure you're hydrating enough and staying cool so you don't get overheated, blah, blah, blah. Have these talk and then they're like, and then we have these slushy machines that you can use. not once have they plugged the slushy machines in for us to use.
Oh,
And
is
I
it
have asked
actually
about
ice
it
you
multiple
eat?
times.
Is it ice
Yes.
you eat? Oh.
Well, it's supposed to be that, but they've never plugged them in. So I hope I'm not going to get killed for saying this.
Oh,
But yeah.
a slushy machine would be awesome. What a cool thing to see all the athletes cruising around with like cone ice.
Yeah, and they've had them. They've been behind the curtains. They've never plugged them in for us to use, and they always talk about them. So it would be, I hope they're actually going to, well, if the events are going to be outside, I'm guessing at least 2 or 3 of them are going to be outside. Hopefully early in the morning, so it's not going to be warm, but it would be interesting to see if they will have the slushing machines and actually plug them in this year.
What's the word you're using? Pluck them in? What's that mean?
Oh, did you say plug it in? Like
Oh,
put
plug it in. Oh,
electricity on it
plug
so
it.
you can
Oh, plug it in.
get
Plug it
the
in. Okay,
ice.
okay,
They
okay.
never
Yes,
have
yes,
them
yes.
functioning. They've
Yes,
never
yes,
functioned.
yes, 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 yes. Hey, it's so interesting to hear you say that Chad looks fun. And once again, that's spoken like someone who has had to take 9 months break. Because some of the other athletes, maybe you should talk to them, send them all a text. Some of the other athletes are complaining or frustrated or not happy with it. But you sitting at home, you're like, fuck, I'll do anything. Like here, let me here. Tap.
No, even me competing, I'd be super nervous about it. And it's
Mhm.
not a fun workout, but it's a cool workout, right?
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's
brutal.
cool.
It's
It's
like
cool
this
also
here.
that
I like this.
it's cool that it's at the cut also.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
last workout before the cut, and so regardless of what you think about it, you better go hard.
You better just go hard. Yeah. I did 500 step ups when it came out. Not weighted. I just did 500 step ups, and my calves were so sore the day after. So I was like,
Mm,
okay, doing this at the games, you need to make sure that you are doing this a few times leading into the game so that your body is used to it. So you're not going to be just like a broken person the day after.
mm,
Um, but I don't know. You could also say like rowing a marathon.
mhm,
That's not fun, but it's
mhm.
also kind of fun, right? It's
I
like
mean,
you can
it's
be
gnarly.
so proud afterwards. You're not
Yes,
gonna do it. It's something that you'll remember always. I will
yes,
never forget the marathon row I did. I don't think people are gonna forget that they did 1,000 step ups
right, with the ruck,
with a rug. Yeah.
with people going crazy in the audience.
Yeah. Yeah. Pace
Hey,
yourself.
I really, appreciate you, coming on. Wonderful seeing you. We'll miss you, and,
Oh,
thanks for
yes.
doing this. I really appreciate it. Good to see you.
Well, thank you. It was good to see you. I was so ready for you to bring some like, well, not ready, but I thought you were gonna ask me some questions I couldn't answer.
Oh, you were great.
Like,
You answer everything. What are you talking about? There's never been a question you can't answer.
no, I thought you'd be like, so who do you think is gonna win the games? Well,
Okay.
the placings at the games, and what do you think like about them being in Texas and blah blah.
Okay,
Like,
let
this
okay,
has been comfortable.
let's talk about that. What is
No, we don't have to talk
one
about
question,
that.
one question. Should the athletes think that they can beat Tia? Should they go there?
Yes, you should always think that you can. Well, depending on what you're competing for, are you participating or are you trying to win the CrossFit Games?
Yeah, you're
If you're
trying to win
trying
the
to win the
CrossFit.
CrossFit Games, you need to believe that you can beat Tia.
And I think
Everyone
probably
is beatable. However, I am very excited to see Tia. I am very excited for her, and she's looking so good. And I think it is hers to lose. Like she is so good that it will be really, really hard to beat her. But of course, it is possible. You have to believe as a competitor, it is possible.
I do suspect that Laura definitely believes on some level
That's
that
what I
she
love about her.
yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah. I think
what
it's
about
important.
Emma Lawson? Um, uh, so much talent, so much go. And she did an interview with Dave recently where she expressed that she was having some struggles. Um, do you remember that in your early years? Struggles being a young lady and the pressure and everyone looking at you.
Oh, absolutely. Like it almost broke me down 2012.
It
Um,
did.
oh yeah. I remember like competing and after that we had this like run on the track and the snatch event where you had to switch legs like have the left in the front and the right in the front, and I felt screwed over with the judging there. So I ended up like I was in fifth place, but very far from first place after that event, and that was before the Friday night event. And I was like, I can't win the CrossFit Games. So I was like completely broken down. I felt like I was disappointing my family and all sponsors and everyone. Um, but then I also realized that I I thought it was such an interesting thing that Carl said to me, Carl Poli. He was like, "So, do you want to quit? Like, you can walk away now. You can say that you're injured and just walk away. You can walk away anytime, Annie." I'm like, "No, no, I don't. Like, no. What are you talking about?" And then I realized I don't want to quit. I am here to compete, so I better not quit. And then I managed to just get out of it. The pressure was off because I couldn't win anymore. Um,
But you won.
and then I ended yeah, 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 and then I ended up winning because
What
I
a
could
what a
perform. I could
crazy
start
roller coaster.
yeah, I could start performing as me again. I could start enjoying competing again instead of being in this like uncomfortable shell. But I also think it's really important. I think it's so, so good and healthy that athletes are realizing that they are uncomfortable, that they're realizing that the pressure is getting to them and are aware of it because it's so important to talk about it and be aware of it. Um, but I also want to say this the right way. I think they also need to realize that we all feel like this, that it's normal to feel like, to a certain extent, you should not be having multiple panic attacks and hate competing. Then you shouldn't do it. If you don't like it, you shouldn't do it. But you should also know that it's normal to feel nervous. There's never been a competition that I've competed in where I can chew and eat all of my breakfast.
Mm,
Never.
mm.
Most years I have a couple of bites and then I lie in bed and I'm in child's position. I'm like having to breathe and just get centered. And then I have a few more bites. Like I'm nervous every single time. And I think everyone gets nervous and it's a part of it. Like you should embrace it as it's a part of it. Um, and it's normal to feel pressure, but your head is another thing that you train. It's like training your body, you train your head, and you're never going to be done. You're going to continue to be sore, and you're going to have to continue to work on the mental aspect of competing, but it's always going to be hard. So you also need to be ready for it to be hard, and that it's okay that it's hard, and that it's okay to feel nervous and anxious and all of that as long as you feel like it's worth it. So I think it's important not to freak out if you're feeling those things and feel like you then have to go away more than maybe it's something that you can train and work on. And I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying it's the same for everyone. I'm just saying that everyone feels it to a certain extent.
So you had a CrossFit Games where you got there, you were super duper excited, you skyrocketed, then you had an event, and you went to the absolute worst place you could go, where like completely defeated, then back up to winning the games. I think I've been chatting with a bunch of athletes about this. I don't think people it's impossible for the fans to see the emotional drain and roller coaster the
Mhm.
athletes go on unless you're back there, and then you can start seeing it. What a fucking crazy journey you guys go on mentally. I
It's
didn't know that. I
insane.
didn't know, or I either didn't know or I had forgotten. So at some point in the 2012 games after an event, you basically hit rock bottom. You collapsed. You were just
Mhm.
could completely. I mean, you were just near the end of surrender, and you
Yeah.
were throwing like a giant pity party. And then Carl said that to you. Did Carl know when he said that to you that that would ig- ig- like ignite you? Because I do that to my kids sometimes. Like we'll be somewhere and they're crying. I'm like, hey, we can go home. Or if they fail something, I'm like, hey, we can stop. We can leave. And they'll be like, no, no, I'm doing it again. It's like it works 100% of the time. Did he know?
Well, he probably, yeah. I think it's a risk though to say,
Right.
but I think he knew me well enough at that point that I'm not a quitter, that I never quit. I would never walk away. Don't, I would, I've never, I have never quit a workout unless I am actually like injured. And there's a difference between pain and injured.
Mm.
Because I have never wanted to, if you quit once, you're teaching yourself that's it's okay to quit. So I've always had that in the back of my mind that I will never quit. I will always finish. Even if I need to like crawl, I will finish. Which is why it was so hard for me 2015 to have to withdraw from the games. But I think he knew that about me when he said that. And that it was the perfect thing to say to me because I knew I wasn't gonna do that. So I could just as well stop whining about this and just snap out of it and do what I could for the remaining of the events. And I ended up, I think I won the Friday night event after that talk with him.
Yeah, that's why.
So
Was that Isabel? No,
no, that was the
that was
D-ball
Sunday.
D-ball handstand push-up or sandbag handstand push-up event Friday night, 2012 the
Oh, yeah,
same.
okay. Yeah, wow.
Mhm.
Hey, another thing that was interesting is I saw Yame still coaching you while you were pregnant. That's a pretty
Yeah,
special relationship. I always imagine an athlete getting pregnant and then the coach just going on his way, but he stays with you. He still coached you while you were pregnant, huh?
yeah, of course, we're a team.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He's my team. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, obviously I'm not having him program crazy things for me or put
right.
yeah, but for as long as I was able to do, it wasn't until like maybe the last month where I was like, okay, you can stop putting in programming and I will just do what feels the best to me. Now I know most of the bodybuilding and the biking because I had to adjust a few things, a few more things that I had first pregnancy. But yeah, all up until then, he programmed every single day for me.
Yeah, what did I this is incredible, the 2012 leaderboard. You had to really dig yourself out of a hole. 16th, 14th, 3rd, 33rd, 4th, 12th. Wow, what a roller coaster.
It was a roller coaster. So it was after that track triplet where I was like, oh yeah, I can't win. I'm done. Like I am done for now because I was in fifth place and I was so far down the leaderboard because that was after, yeah, I had one third place finish, but I took
6
so
workouts.
many low down. And then the Metal handstand push-up. Yeah, Metal handstand push-up. That was Friday night. And then I started enjoying competing again. It
Yeah,
was
and then
it was like a switch.
yeah, and then you crushed it after that.
Yeah.
Wow, look at these names. Julie Fouché, Telena Fortunato, Christian Clever, Valerie Voberl, Camille.
Camilla Bond.
Wild.
Guacamole.
All right, cool. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Great having you on
Thank
the show.
you.
Yeah, thanks for doing
Always
this.
so fun to talk with you.
All right, dear. Say hi to Frederick.
Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
games.
I will. I'm really excited. I can't wait to go get my media credentials today. I'm pretty pumped.
Eh, I'm very excited to watch.
All right. I
All
will
right.
talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
The great Annie Thorisdottir. Wow. Cool. I hope I can get Rich on tomorrow. I think he's going to be a little more. I thought Annie would be pretty difficult to do too. I know everyone's busy. Crazy. Yeah, she's pretty amazing. Is that Mark Uplift Wad? Mark Marshall? Is that his name? All righty. It looked like yeah, it looked like CrossFit has announced some new stuff. We should probably talk about that tonight. You guys want to talk about all that shit tonight? I don't know why any of the boys aren't coming on with me um at night. I mean, yesterday I only gave him 2 minutes notice, and I guess the night before I only gave him 2 minutes notice. Hopefully someone will come on with me tonight. There's some footage of the 1600-meter run.
Still got it.
Yeah, this looks cool. Man, Friday night's gonna be wild. By the way, Friday night's free. I'm sure most of you know. So it looks like they're doing the mile first. I wonder if that's what Dave's talking about. That originally it was supposed to be the sprint first. So they do the mile and then they do the sprint. And it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprints. All right, that's cool. We'll talk about that tonight. We got the fan favorite award over here also. All right. These look like Colton's nipples. Yep, there we go. All right, guys. I don't remember seeing any of these. What is this one?
Hello, I got places to be.
Oh, that's cool. Stay ready, Ariel. All right, guys. I'm going to head over to the venue. I think the boys and girls are there registering today. I was looking at an athlete schedule today, and it doesn't look like there are any orientations. Let me see. I'll tell you what the athletes are doing today. Today's Tuesday between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. The women register from 8 to 12. I think that's where they get all their gear and basically let someone know at the games, hey, I'm here. Then the men go from 1 to 5. That's happening over at Dickies Arena. Is Dickies and Will Rogers Memorial the same location? Is that the same? Is that the same thing? I keep seeing it used interchangeably. I hope that's the same thing. And then tomorrow at noon, the athletes have a mandatory athlete orientation at 12, and the coaches have one at 1. Okay, so that for sure I think I'm gonna start filming there. All right. All right, guys, thank you. I will I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll definitely see you guys tonight. Trying to think if there's anything anywhere I'm gonna maybe in my stories on my personal account. I'll show you guys some stuff from the venue. All right. Good show. Thank you, Annie. And hopefully we'll have Rich on tomorrow morning. And I will talk to you guys soon. Oh, Will Rogers is Vendor Village. Okay. Will Rogers is a separate structure. Okay. They're close together. Okay. What's the website? What's the website for the sunscreen? It's Doterskin. Dottirskin. Doterskin. All right. Bye bye.